All right, thank you guys. Merry Christmas to you, and welcome to Brock Page Productions. I'm your host, Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already joined the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do so right now by tapping that subscribe button below. Now, guys, we got ourselves a short little Big Ten slate of Christmas Day action, so let's go ahead and dive into it. It's all queued up, fired up, ready to go on the big screen behind me. I'm talking about the Wisconsin Badgers taking on the Michigan State Spartans, 12:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in East Lansing. Wisconsin's the 1-point favorite on the road, totals 140. We're hitting at 62% in our last 13 college basketball tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 64% in our last dozen board member tier package picks in that same category. And if you want to join the community of over 775 handicappers that are signed up and active on that page, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, Wisconsin's only loss on the season was a road game. Unfortunately for them, they're on the road here in this ball game as well. The Badgers have also failed to cover the number in 4 out of their 8 contests on the season as well. The Badgers have really had a tough time with the Spartans in recent years. Just 1-8 straight up in their last 10 meetings. 0-12 in their last dozen games at the Breslin Center. And speaking of the Breslin, Michigan State is currently a perfect 5-0 straight up at home this season. 87 points a night they're scoring on their home court. Sparty's also connecting on nearly 50% of their field goals at home as well. Joey Hauser is scoring over a dozen points per contest, 9 rebounds and a couple assists for the junior. Aaron Henry's also scoring 12 a game, along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Henry's also recorded 13 steals and 12 blocks already. He's been very good defensively. Michigan State has held the Badgers to just 62 points per contest on average in their last 10 meetings. Of course, I forgot to put my cell phone on airplane mode, so unfortunately you're going to hear a lot of text chain action. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, total-wise, 4 out of Sparty's last 5 meetings at home got over the posted number. Meanwhile, 3 out of Wisconsin's last 4 got over the line themselves. Give me the underdog Michigan State Spartans +1 and the over 140 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for college basketball here on Christmas Day. Once again, Merry Christmas to you. Hopefully you're either at home with your family or you're out gambling. A lot of people go out to the casinos on holidays. Nothing wrong with that. If you're going to spend Christmas at a blackjack table, no harm, no foul. I respect it. I don't hate you for it. I actually respect you for it. But anyway, got to quickly remind you once again that we are hitting at 62%. Unbelievable. In our last, 13? I don't know. Give me one sec, guys. I got to put this on airplane mode. Unbelievable. Get a million text messages while I'm recording. I always put my phone on airplane mode whenever I record. And, yeah, anyway, enough of that. But anyway, guys, got to quickly remind you once again that we are hitting at 62% in our last 13 college basketball tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. Once again, they're probably not even watching this. They just skip ahead to the quick pick recap, so I guess it really doesn't matter. But anyway, we're also hitting at 64% in our last dozen board member tier package picks on that site as well. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. And no, you did not mishear me. When you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. The cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those who are wondering what the difference is between my free picks here on YouTube and the picks that are on my Patreon site, well, what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day, not the entire slate like I do here on YouTube. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way versus wagering on every single game that's on the slate, side and total, like I do with my breakdowns here, with my free content here on YouTube. But anyway, guys, if you're interested, there is a tutorial video right on the Patreon homepage. You can look at that for free right now. Shows you how to easily navigate the site. And I've said before, if I can operate the site, you most certainly can navigate it. But anyway, we currently have a community of over 775 handicappers signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, we're going to take a look at Maryland versus Purdue. And that's going to be a 2:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off at Purdue. Now, Purdue's -5.5, totals 136 and a hook. Purdue's been one of the worst covering teams in the Big Ten, at least over the past couple of weeks. They failed to cover the point spread in 5 out of their last 6 games, and they're just 1-3 against the spread on their home court. Now, the Boilermakers have only covered the number just once in their last 9 head-to-head meetings with Maryland. They're also coming fresh off a 15-point beatdown to Iowa, where they were held to just 55 total points. And speaking of Maryland, they just hung up 84 on LaSalle, and that was in a 13-point win. The Terrapins are 5-2 straight up on the season, and they're shooting 49% from the field. Eric Ayala is scoring 15 points a game along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. The junior from Wilmington, Delaware, is also shooting 91% from the foul line. You can't foul him, can't put him on the line. He's going to make you pay. He also has 8 steals thus far in the season. And speaking of steals, sophomore Dante Scott has 5 steals thus far in the season, along with 6 blocks. Now, the forward from Philadelphia is also scoring 13 points a game, along with 7 boards and a couple assists. Scott's making nearly 80% of his free throws, and he's connecting on over 57% of his three-pointers. Now, total-wise, Maryland saw 3 out of their last 5 get over the posted number. Meanwhile, 5 out of Purdue's last 8 got over the line themselves, throwing out the Iowa debacle, of course. Give me the underdog Maryland Terrapins +5.5 and the over 136 and a hook. Next contest, it is going to be Michigan versus Nebraska, and that contest is going to be a 6 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Corn Country. The Michigan Wolverines are the 8-point favorite. Totals 147 flat. Michigan is coming fresh off a victory over Penn State, where they held the Nittany Lions to just 58 total points. They were absolutely dominant on defense, really shutting down the Nittany Lions. Now, Michigan is an undefeated 6-0 straight up on the season, and they successfully covered the number in 3 out of their last 4. Now, Michigan is scoring over 82 points a game, and they're shooting 52% from the field. Hunter Dickinson is scoring 16 points a game and averaging 7 boards a night. The freshman center has double-digit blocks on the season as well. And, of course, Isaiah Livers is also scoring over 15 points a game along with 6 rebounds and a couple assists. Livers is shooting over 94% from the foul line. Now, the Wolverines have won 5 out of their last 6 on Nebraska's court. And speaking of the Cornhuskers, they're coming off a 14-point loss to Wisconsin, where they scored a pitiful 53 points. Now, Nebraska has also dropped 3 out of their last 4, and they gave up 80 points a game on average in those losses. Nebraska is 0-3 straight up as the underdog this season, and they failed to cover the number in 8 out of their last 10 games with Michigan. They're just 1-9 straight up in those contests, by the way. And when it comes to the total on this one, 6 out of Nebraska's last 10 contests against Michigan did get over the posted number. Meanwhile, the Wolverines on the other side are 4-2 to the over in their last 6. I'm going to lean toward the Michigan Wolverines -8 and the over 147. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Iowa versus Minnesota, and that's going to be an 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Williams Arena. Now, the Iowa Hawkeyes are -7 away from home. Numbers 163.5. The Hawkeyes just blasted Purdue by 15 points in their last outing, held the Boilermakers to just 55 total points in that game. Now, Iowa 7-1 straight up on the season, and they successfully covered the point spread in 75% of those contests. Now, the Hawkeyes are averaging over 95 points a night, and they're shooting nearly 50% from the field. Luka Garza is scoring 29 points a game, along with 9 rebounds and a couple of blocks. Garza's also hitting 59% of his three-pointers and has 18 blocks on the year. Of course, Joe Wieskamp is also scoring 16 points a game, along with 7 rebounds and a couple assists. Wieskamp's got 8 steals defensively himself, and he's drilling 46% of his three-pointers. Now, they are taking on a Minnesota squad who's failed to cover the number in 5 out of their last 7. Now, the Golden Gophers are giving up 74 points per contest, and they're shooting just 30% from beyond the arc. Why did I say it like that? Anyway, total-wise, Minnesota, their last 4 straight all got over the number. They're officially 75% to the over on the season. Meanwhile, Iowa is 7-1 to the over for the entire season themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Iowa Hawkeyes -7 and the over 163.5 in that game. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are hitting at 62% our last 13 college basketball tier package picks on that website. I like Michigan State +1 over 140. I'm also leaning toward Maryland +5.5 over 136 and a hook. I like Michigan -8 over 147. And last but certainly not least, please give this video a thumbs up right now if you enjoyed it by smashing the like button. I like the Iowa Hawkeyes -7 in the over 163.5. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. And from our YouTube platform, shout-out to Huncho Ty BME, shout-out to Howdy Y'all, Vernon Williard, Roy Munson, Lionel Kicks, David Parks, Kevin Taylor, Wildman Samurai, Roberto Sanchez, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout-out to my friend Jordan Wynn. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that. Also want to remind you, if you purchase a package here today, just keep in mind that all the lesser expensive tier memberships are free. They're included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Thursday to you. Happy Christmas Eve to you. And don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.